Hello. So it's I think it's day 24. It's March 18th, Thursday, March 18th. And last night we stayed at, do you remember the name of the shelter we stayed at? Mount Collins shelter, Walsey tells me. And we got dumped on, tons of rain. I mean, I recorded a little bit of it that you saw probably before this, but I was recording mostly in the drier areas. That trail was a river in some spots. I mean, literally like a noisy river. Some of the best water sources I've seen so far. Yeah, we are only, according to that sign right behind me, 1.7 to Newfound Gap. And from there we find out if we are going to be able to get a ride, or if we have to walk the 13 miles down to Gatlinburg, because as of when we left, there was a ridge runner that works for the Appalachian Trail Conservancy at the shelter. That road was closed due to high winds, but as you can see around me right now, those winds have died down quite a bit. So I was telling Walsey just a few minutes ago that if they've still got that highway closed, that I'm gonna have some stern words with the highway department. But other than that, yeah, it's supposed to get pretty cold, I think, tonight and tomorrow and even the next day. So we're toying with the idea of actually doing a double zero and riding out that cold spell. I guess temperatures down in the very low 20s, winds chill much lower than that. So doesn't sound like fun. Wet and cold. So that's about it. I'm gonna do some recording probably when we get into Gatlinburg. Yeah, that's it. Talk to you later. Hello. So what a day. So we did a little over 5 miles, I think, out of Mount Collins shelter. And it was, you saw the video before, pretty rainy, and there was a lot of rain, a lot of water on the trail. And then we got to the Newfound Gap, and there was another hiker there in the bathroom making tea, and he said that he contacted the Smoky Mountains Park Service, and they were telling him that the road was still closed and that it might be open by around 2 or so. So I think it was like 1 o'clock. So we started to walk down, and it's 15 miles to Gatlinburg. Yeah, so we walked and walked, and I can see now why people that do like the PCT, I think the CDT has got a lot of, that's the Continental Divide Trail and the Pacific Crest Trail. I think both of them have some road walks involved, and road walking is hard because I mean, even if you walk on the side of the road, it's still pretty worn down. And a lot of times there was no place to walk on the side of the road. It just kind of beats up your feet quite a bit. So got down to, well, I passed up Walsey. His shin was hurting a little bit. And he doesn't know this. He'll find out here on this video, and maybe I'm sure he'll say, "Ah, gee, click. That's swell," because that's exactly how he talks, by the way. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna go a little faster because we weren't getting any cell service. So I figured I'd try to go cruise ahead, get some cell service, get a shuttle or a taxi or something like that to drive up once the road was open, and then collect us both. Well, we went down, I ended up getting between 9 and 10 miles down. I got cell service and started calling like everybody. But as it turns out, so this is Gatlinburg was the town that we're getting to. It turns out this place is like freaking crazy. Well, it's St. Patrick's Day weekend, plus I guess there's a lot of spring break too going on. I mean, I lived in Las Vegas, and there are more people on the street here, definitely, than I've ever seen on the Las Vegas Strip. And it's just jam-packed. It took us probably 45 minutes to drive a couple of miles on the road, the main road. I'm skipping ahead a little bit there, but I'll get back to that. Anyway, so I called everybody. Nobody could come because it's so busy in town. No taxis. None of the shuttle drivers that I could find were even answering their phones. So I'm just walking, and all of a sudden this huge pickup truck pulling an excavator on a flatbed behind it stops and backs up towards me, and Walsey's there in the cab. He hailed this guy down. This guy is freaking super cool, very, very cool. And gave us a ride. Unfortunately, there was no room in the cab. He's like, just get on the trailer in the back. Like I said, a big flatbed trailer carrying an excavator. So I went to go back there, and I yelled to Walsey. I was like, ask him if it's okay if I can just get into the cab of the excavator, because there's no good spots. And he was like, yeah. So I opened up the door, got in the excavator, sat in there, and drove the last, 5 miles or whatever. So we got picked up by Kate. Thank you very much, Kate, by the way. And yeah, so that's how I know that there's so many millions of people here, because it took us a long time just to get down this main drag. There's so many people, crazy. Anyway, got to the room and cleaned up my gear. Most of my gear is just like kind of sitting out, drying out. I've got my tent out on the balcony, on some tables and stuff like that, and then just cleaning, did my laundry, which is all sitting on that bed behind me. And yeah, just ordered a pizza. Gonna rest these legs, and that's about it. But what a crazy day. It was fun though. I mean, wouldn't trade it for the world, but crazy stuff. So I'm gonna be in Gatlinburg tomorrow for sure, and maybe even the next day. We'll see. And I will video the town for sure, because If you haven't been here before, it's pretty interesting. And yeah, I don't want to forget it. I don't think I could forget it, but I don't want to. So I'm gonna make a video record. But that is it. Thanks for hanging in, and I will talk to you later.